Lights, camera, action, let's dive in deep. Talking directors, actors, the secrets they keep. From behind the scenes to the silver screen. Hard-hitting questions, nothing in between. We're rated B, rated the podcast sensation. Unveiling truth, sparking conversations. Where every story gets its chance to shine. We're rated B, rated, let's rewind.
Welcome to Rated B-Rated Conversations. Today we're here with Ken Arnold and Dan Deluca, writer and stars, and story by Ken Arnold as well, of A Town Called Purgatory.
That is correct. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. I only get a few hours from my parole officer tonight, so it's perfect timing.
This is work release.
That's right.
That's what it counts as.
Yeah, so kind of because we haven't really done an episode on this, so like for anybody that hasn't seen this, how would you like a short synopsis describe this movie?
Well, should we? Sorry to cut you off. Should we start out by saying, hey, if you're listening to this and you have not seen the movie, don't listen to this yet until you've seen the movie? I know for sure I'm going to say something that's going to spoiler it.
Well, I would. Well, yeah, we're going to do spoilers, but I would highly suggest you watch the movie. But I'm just saying for those people that haven't, may have not seen the movie. How would you
even with spoilers? It's fine. I think people will still, there's just so much going on in that film. I think spoilers aren't really spoilers, to be honest with you.
All right.
I
don't want to get beat up again by Anthony.
But yeah, how would you sort of describe this movie to somebody if you wanted them to watch it?
Ken?
Well, Dan, since you wrote this synopsis, I guess I'll tell them about it. So it's post-Civil War. Two Western cowboys. One's a Pinkerton, the other's a tracker, and he's taken the Pinkerton to a town called Purgatory, out in Utah, I believe it is. And he's leading them on his way, and on the way there, they come across something that they're not quite sure what's going on. They're looking for a group of train robbers, and the Pinkerton wants to get to Purgatory before those train robbers arrive because he wants to arrest them. And on the way there, like I said, they come across something they can't explain. When they get to the town is empty, which is also a mystery that they have to try and figure out when they get there. And then the bad guys show up, the train robbers, and they have to take care of that situation as well. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, and you can see why I wrote the synopsis after he gave you
that roundabout. See,
there's two guys.
Yeah,
two dudes, some Western fellas.
No, I do like that kind of like this movie has. You have a Confederate, and you have what's the other one? God, my brain is.
So there's the Pinkerton, who's a Northerner. There's the Confederate, and then there's the tracker, and the trapper. And the trapper is an ex-slave. So you have this Southerner, this Northerner, and this ex-slave. Are basically the three main characters of this film.
But I do like the dynamic between you two. It's sort of like buddy cop in a way.
Yeah.
Where it's like two halves of a whole. Like Ken, you're more the upright, follow the law, do the right thing guy, and you, Dan, play the there are no rules. I do what I want when I want.
It's real life for us both.
Yeah, man, you get all that bank money right there in front of your face.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, see, I really would have shot Ken if that was really the case.
You know what Dan does in his spare time? He runs a daycare center. But who knew?
If I only had that daycare money, that would be great. No.
I hear you.
If the Pinkerton would have let you get that money from the bank, you would have had that daycare money. But no,
That's right.
he had to wait.
Take your money.
So even after the entire town was found, you still didn't get to take that money. That's some BS, man.
So Ken has a tendency in a lot of the
Are we froze, Anthony?
films, screenplays that I write to be that straight man because he plays it so well. But in multiple other films, if you take a look at The Night Watchman, which we shot a few years back, that we did together as a horror comedy, Ken is that by the book guy. He's also in a couple other screenplays that by the book guy. And I think I write my characters just because they're more fun to be obnoxious, and that's kind of my real nature anyway. And off the cuff.
Oh, that's awesome. So like where was I going to go with this? Like the way this movie starts out, it's so like simple. It's so just like we're right in. There's no like leading you into the characters, like we're at the characters. Like everything establishes very quickly, and I really like that. That like there's cut to the chase.
Yes, and when you're writing screenplays, you really got to cut to the chase. You're going to lose people very quickly if you don't. And there's just so much time you have to develop these characters. You got to get from the go. And from the go, you can tell these three guys sitting around the campfire. You get an idea of how each one of them is just right out of that first sequence.
Well, we had to do
Brian.
it that way. We had to just jump right in because it's a low budget film. We didn't have the extra days to shoot an extended opening like scene where you establish characters and everything.
Well, we did shoot that huge opening sequence that we never used. That you and I cut out, the walking and the talking and the walking and the talking.
We did cut that out, but we also the original rough cut had a much longer extended scene around the fire too, and we cut that in half.
Yeah,
probably more than half, and we jumped right to the monster stalking us. So, and we thought it was best that we did that, and because if the movie starts out slow, we're going to lose people, especially in today's world.
Yeah.
With independent films, you got to jump right into it.
And it is kind of, to be contradictory, it is kind of a slow burn, but stuff is happening. So I think it works. And just to kind of recap, it's this Pinkerton coming from up north. He's chasing the Reno gang, who is a real gang. They're the first gang that ever robbed a train in the United States.
Oh, wow.
Based loosely on a real Pinkerton. My character is based loosely on the Gray Ghost, who was a Southerner that kind of after the war, he was a lieutenant. And after the war, he kind of said, hey, what we did was wrong. And the character of Nicodemus, the trapper, is also based loosely on a freed slave. But these two guys are headed to Purgatory, and they get there and the place is basically empty. There's blood everywhere. They don't know what the hell went on. They're trying to figure it out. And then they start encountering just a couple of people. And those couple of people kind of help them piece the story together. They don't know who to trust. They don't know who's lying to them. And they're kind of thrown off track through this. So it's a mystery, horror, and thriller all kind of wrapped into one. And there's a gunfight, so it's a cowboy movie.
Yeah, it's really solid. It's like, I think I've only seen one other movie that we've really talked about that had this amount of layering to it, where I think, I don't know a better term for it, but like if you do this much story layered on top of each other, it can be like 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag.
Yeah.
It can become too much, but the way this is done, like the way everybody comes in, it's very well done.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But yeah, like, so what, do you have a question, Brian?
Sorry. I think it's funny when we do these and all of a sudden someone happens, just like, dude, it was because of a ghost, or in this case,
I just kept going. It was all good.
A skinwalker. must have done something. I don't know which guys. I'm so sorry.
Wow. we have been cursed by this skinwalker. So, the Navajo legend is you don't talk about the skinwalker. It's kind of like Fight Club, okay? You don't talk about it. The Navajos don't talk about it. It's hard to find any information on it. And like during the shooting of this film, and I'll let Ken get into it, but there was some weird stuff that happened. Go ahead, Ken.
Oh, crazy stuff happened. We had 2 earthquakes while we were shooting on set.
What?
The epicenter was directly underneath the saloon where we were shooting. That's where the earthquake originated, and it was a 4.6, and that's nothing to sneeze at. It's not the strongest earthquake in the world, but strong enough that we felt it, and it made the building shake. It was pretty scary. So,
yeah, and then every time we would walk into the saloon, no matter how hot it was outside, it was freezing cold in there. And there's no air conditioning in this place. I mean, this is built out to be an old saloon. There's no AC, but it was cold as could be in there. Literally, we had heaters running every day in there, even if it was 70 degrees outside. It was weird. Some weird stuff.
So I probably missed, but where was this shot at? I'm so sorry.
It was shot in Austria, about 15 minutes south of Vienna, in a place called Neustadt.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I was gonna ask. Well, Jesus. Well, you guys mentioned like Utah, and I was like, okay, so, kind of like a back-to-back question, like the Skinwalker stories, like whose idea was that, and like like have you heard about Skinwalkers and stuff like that? And I'll tell the reason why I asked that question.
Yeah, so, Ken said he had done this movie called The Marshal. It was also called Bill Tillman and the Outlaws. And while he was on that set for a month, he kept, bugging me and saying, hey, we got to do a horror Western. And so we kind of, went back and forth. We didn't want to do anything that, the common stuff that you always get, the zombies, vampires, werewolves, the whole thing, ghost story, all that type of stuff. And so we figured out how can we keep this true to the time that, the lore, the native history, what was going on after the Civil War. And this was basically the best thing that came up. We started seeing things, I think, on television around the same time about Skinwalker Ranch and Skinwalker kind of documentaries and so
on the History Channel.
Yeah, on the History Channel. And so we kind of devoured all that stuff and we figured out, okay, this is what we want to do. We're going to risk it and hopefully don't get the Skinwalker curse. And that's why we tried to, honestly, no joking. We tried to keep to the lore as true as possible because, we were already testing fate here. So let's keep this as realistic to the legend as possible of the Skinwalker.
All right. Yeah, no. So I used to live in this little town, and then like 6 miles away from that little town was a Native American, like an Indian reservation. And so we had friends and everything like that, and they'd tell us their stories of the deer woman, and then they'd tell us the stories of like the water babies, and they'd tell us the stories of the Skinwalkers and the shapeshifters and stuff like that. And so one of my first comments was like, even the beginning of the movie, like it's super really catchy. Like it's, super relatable to anybody who goes camping and anything like that, or anybody who's ever been around like a reservation, because again, we've said it a million times, Anthony and I, like if you can put yourself in those people's shoes, then the movie just instantly becomes that much more believable and that much more scary like that. So my thing, like I even asked my wife because she was there a lot longer than I was, but I was like, what are like Skinwalkers, like shapeshifters? And I was like, okay, what's your version of that? Like, what were you told? And she's like, and it's so funny because everybody has their different versions of it. And so my wife, she's like, well, they're the ones that they're just demonic things, but something's always off about them. So if like the shapeshifter's a coyote, it might have like a tweaked back, or its tail might look messed up, or its eyes would look different or something like that. I was like, I've never heard that version, but that's even creepier because you guys had those big ass wolves in your version of it. But yeah, no, the version that I was told when I was younger was that it's kind of, you get these like powers. And so basically what you would have to do is you have to sacrifice somebody that you truly loved.
Yes.
And then you would get these things. And so the stories were that there'd be truck drivers driving down like the freeway in the middle of the desert. All of a sudden someone would just start running up beside them and be like, hey, pull over. And you're just like, why the hell would you ever pull over? If you're driving 65 miles an hour, this dude's running up beside you like, hey, I got a question real quick. I'd be like, what the hell? And then, so they had these powers and they were able to shapeshift and stuff like that. So I was wondering what, version, because yours, if I wasn't correct, like it was because that horrible thing that happened, which then, the question was it the daughter that came back or the shaman or the dad, but either one of them, it was
the shaman. Yeah.
So much more relatable if you have any friends that are like, oh yeah, well listen to this story. Then it's like, really? Yeah. Like, did that really happen?
It's one of those things where it's like any monster in any good movie, at least the way I was taught, needs to have purpose, that they believe what they're doing is for the right reasons, right? So so when you see the Marvel movies and you got what's his name, the purple guy,
Thanos,
and he wants to destroy half of the universe with the snap of his finger, but he wants to be fair about it. It's random, and he wants to save people because he saw his own family starve, right? His own people starve, and so this Skinwalker is doing it because of what happened. That's that horrible situation that happened, and so shaman. And it's usually the stories that we research talk about, shamans end up being the skinwalkers, doing what you said, sacrificing somebody close to them that they love. So basically doing the worst thing they could possibly do to get that black magic. And then within that black magic, they can become shapeshifters. They can control other people, animals, stuff like that. They can become animals. So there's that whole kind of same lore that you're talking about. That's exactly what we went with, and I'm glad to hear that these are the stories that you heard directly from the Native Americans, because there's always everybody has their own opinion, but it's
a lot of people get it mixed up with the Wendigo,
right?
And that's not because of the look of it,
because the look,
and that's not the case. The Wendigo is a totally different lore. It's flesh eater cat.
Northeast American tribes is the Wendigo, and that one, basically, if you eat human meat, you become this beast,
the Revenant,
the Wendigo.
Right? Is that movie, The Revenant?
Oh, good God!
Yes,
right. And then he's like, if you die before me, I'm going to eat you, but if I die before you, I know you won't eat me. And the guy's like, oh shit, what are we going to do? Then he breaks his leg and eats that dude.
Yeah.
No, it was awesome.
Go ahead.
I always try to look. So I did have a question. When Ezra was, when he left, right? There was a zoom in scene that was something that was bloody. What? Okay.
That was his harmonica.
Okay.
Oh. Ezra didn't leave. Ezra, well, he left, but he didn't leave because
voluntarily.
He's no longer there. He might not have done it willingly, but he's no. Okay, I thought, we always joke around and try to guess stuff, and I was like, was that an iPhone? I was like, God damn it! I was like, if this turns out to be like The Village, so here's something funny. Okay. And I'm so glad it didn't go this way, that it went, your guys' awesome way. I was like, damn it. I was like, you know what? I was like, this Pinkerton guy probably has a lot of money and he wanted to see what it would be like living back then. And so he's paying the tracker to have him go camping for a week and travel like they used to back in the day. And then this was all set up. And then I was like, there's a cell phone. I was like, oh, it's going to turn out to be like that. And then I was like, wait a second. When all this stuff going on, I was like, dude, this isn't set up. I was like, this dude's really going to get killed by this freaking horrible, you know, after this thing. And then,
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I love that. That's not actually not a bad idea. I mean, I think maybe we should make another one.
You actually fleshed out the story there.
There you go. Oh, that was part 2, where it's like, haha, I was just dreaming the whole time.
At least I can come back that way, right?
Dude, that's in my note. It sucked when Ken didn't make it.
No,
you know,
that
I was like,
rough to watch.
no. You know,
that's the beauty of being the lead writer on these things. You can make your friends go through terrible, horrible things, and that's what I like to do.
Peace out, Ken.
He does it to me every time. Never fails.
No.
No, when Ken and I were doing like going through the film and putting it up on the big screen to make sure that, all these little details we could catch. And there was a phone booth in the film that we
was.
Yeah. There was a phone booth.
There was a modern phone booth right in the back. Well, there was also a big blue cooler.
Yeah,
that they used for the crew for water and stuff like that on set. We had to fix that. There was a bunch of stuff, but in the end, we were able to clear up and clean out most of it. I know Dan, for one specific thing, when he watches the movie, he gets so furious every single time about the square or the rectangular bales of hay. He gets so pissed because it wasn't during that time period. They didn't have those combines that made those yet. They didn't have that at all. It was just wrapped up and it didn't look square.
They didn't come out to the 1820s. So,
the 1920s, not the 1820s.
I'm sorry,
1920s before.
They tried to keep it as real as possible. And that, when I see that, Ken just the other day texted me a picture of a truck with all these bales of hay on it.
And I said, does this piss you off?
Yes.
I hope so.
Yes, it does.
It's headed to the set of the sequel. We're gonna put them all over the place.
No, I didn't even notice. Yeah.
Yeah, see, you didn't notice. You didn't notice, like everybody else didn't notice.
But I noticed
every time we watch it.
See, and we try really hard. Like we've done a couple of your movies, Ken, where it's like, oh, his watch was on his left arm and now it's on his right. Oh, busted. That's why I was like, dude. So we watched it. So that's why I was like, I don't know what. So I even like rewinded it and paused it. Like times I was like, I don't know, but that was pretty. Then I was always had my guard up, which then made me realize that I could be, kidnapped and murdered from this town. And I was like, oh, there you go. Let's just focus on this while you guys sneak in behind. The gore about everything was just amazing too. Like the cuts on people's faces, everything. The gore was super awesome, guys.
Yeah, we did. We had a guy by the name of Shane Morton out of Atlanta, and he has done a ton of stuff. He was the lead makeup special effects person for what was that show?
Pretty Little Faces Going to Hell?
Yeah, Your Pretty Little Faces Going to Hell, and a bunch of other horror movies in his career.
Yeah.
And he did great work for us.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very creative. He's very artistic. We were lucky to have him over there.
Yeah.
He brought Oliver Kasicki, the guy who wore the suit and did the practical monster in the movie, because it's a combination of both. It's digital and practical, and we switch back and forth, and we try to keep it as quick and seamless as we can, so you really don't notice it. You do a little, but it's a low budget indie. We didn't have millions and millions to throw at it to make it seamless, like perfect special effects. So, but we did the best we could with what we had.
No,
and that's why the square.
Apparently, that's the only kind of hay they have is in the bales there. The rectangular ones.
It is. They're seats. That's what they can sit on.
That's right.
And hide a phone booth.
That's right. We stacked them up in front of the phone booth.
That's awesome. No,
but so a lot of the supporting characters were really good too, because it really feels like in this movie there are no wasted characters. Like from the simplest motivation to your character Ken, why is he so insistent on being here? Because it's never spelled out to us, but it always feels weird. And then, wham, we get hit with it, and it ties the story tighter. Like every time you get a revelation, everything gets tighter, everything gets closer, everything gets more tense. And it's like this just slow walk of the story that by the time you get to that third act, everything hits so hard.
Yeah. And we leave the little foreshadows in there in the beginning, you know, Ken looking at that picture, that type of thing. So yeah, we try and make sure that it's not just Deus ex machina jumping in at the very end, you know, but that the stuff is presented prior. And I love that about movies that do that make it seem like the smallest little detail doesn't matter, but then you realize that it does later down the line, and it pays off.
Yeah, and there were some things in the original script that were in there.
Yeah.
That we didn't get a chance to keep in.
Yeah, there was a lot of Ken's backstory that the
director. I wish we could have kept it in there, but
that was good stuff. That was good stuff.
We had some things that, due to time constraints and just rewrites and things like that they took some stuff out, and it would have been. I think it would have made this story even stronger.
I agree.
So but you know, we had to do what we had to do. And you know, when you're producing a film and you got a limited budget, you got to make cuts. You got to keep things moving, and you can't really dwell on that stuff. You got to keep going.
Yeah, but in the stories that my character tells, like about New Ulm and the Indians in New Ulm, that they come in and they burn down. You know, he's referencing, you know, did Indians do this? That's a real story. That's you know, something that happened. Obviously, the stuff with Nat Turner, that's all, you know, real stuff. So trying to bring all that stuff in there. Ken had some really good Civil War kind of dialogue that he's telling his backstory, aside from, you know, the end reveal, his backstory of being a soldier, and some horrific stories that are real stories that I took out of Gettysburg writings. And just some stuff that, you know, you don't hear about every day, like they're trying to bury their dead, but they can't because they're being shot at. And the next day, you know, crows are eating the dead's eyes out, and wild pigs are eating at them and stuff like that. Some of them may not be dead, you know, they're still moving a bit. You know, all that is in Ken's little soliloquy that was, I think, would have heightened it, the tension between, you know, the Southerner and the Northerner, and, you know, that whole thing. But like Ken said, we only have so much time and money.
Oh yeah. The other thing was, the thing that I appreciate about this movie is your character Cody is sort of like this wild card who doesn't care about anything, doesn't care about the consequences of his actions, and he, like, in this movie, he learns to understand other people, but at the same time, it hasn't fundamentally changed him at all.
Right.
He is the same person at the end that he was at the beginning. He just accepts more people than he did before.
Right.
And I like that because it feels more true and less like after school special.
Yes. They don't sit around and sing Kumbaya. Yeah. I mean, he's still a real person, and he still has, you know, his allegiances and whatever it might be to his way of life. But this is one of the things that Ken and I fought with in the first cuts of the film, where my conflict with the trapper from the get-go, from the beginning, that was all cut out. And so when Ken and I got the film, we're like, oh no, that stuff goes back in. All that conflict showing this guy's character goes in, because then if he doesn't, and they're all buddies in the beginning, then he's got no place to grow, right? He doesn't learn anything.
There is a cut of the film where his character Cody and the trapper Nicodemus are friends from the get-go, and it makes no sense.
Yeah, they cut all the. You know,
it's very odd when you watch it. You're just like, what? And it made it more like a movie of the week. Yeah. Like, you know, it made it more like that. It was very odd. So. Yeah,
you need that conflict. I mean, stories are conflict, right? Real life is conflict.
There's got to be an arc. You got to change, and at least you changed a little bit, right? You accept more people by the end of the film,
right?
So you still can't fucking sing though. You're going off into the sunset. You sound like an old owl screeching. You can't sing that at all, man.
He didn't learn to sing in the movie.
I don't know. I think at the end, no, I think that you did change at the end after you got jacked up, dude. And I think that the beginning, Cody would have been like, you know what? Like, I'm not getting paid for this.
Right.
But after you did it, you're just like, no, I'm hurt. Yeah, I'm going to, probably die, but let's go out fighting still.
That's right.
Yeah, and you know what? The Cody at the end of the movie, he did have a change of heart because he left money for Nicodemus and Miss Anna.
Yeah, he did.
Cody at the beginning of the movie would have took all the money and left.
I said I left money for them.
Yeah, well, right.
Yeah, you see? I thought I was watching Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck. Like, no, you can't sacrifice yourself. You're supposed to go back. See?
Armageddon. Go get him.
Yeah. When
you mentioned, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, when you got all shot up, like you were going to die, cut up, everything like that, I was like, oh, dude, like that guy's not going to make it. And it's like, I'm getting up. And I was like, hell yeah, he is. Like, he knows what a hero's going to do instead of being like, all right, guys, you go do this yourself. But, man, I think he grew inside that movie.
Well, and it's one of my favorite little bits in that movie where, Ken's character asks him, you ready for this? He's like, no.
Yeah.
Because he's not. He's beat up. He's hurt.
He's like, you see what I look like, right? Like, what? Like, is that like that whole thing where when you see somebody fall on ice, it's like, damn, are you all right? And there's like, hell no, I'm not all right. Like, you saw me fall. Like, what? You were there.
Yeah.
You saw everything.
And Cody's not the hero. He's not going to say, I'm going to do this. He has some moral, but yeah, he was not feeling good. Got the shit kicked out.
He did for no reason too.
And, I have to tell you guys that every time I go to Ken's house, he's got that sequence of me getting the crap beat out of my
just on loop
over on a loop. How to play it on the TV on a loop. I'm just not allowed to.
You're like, this is my TV dedicated to Frank beating this dude's ass.
That's right.
It's like
the one scene we had, I actually had an opportunity to kick Dan's ass for real. I didn't mean to do it, but when I get stuck in the trap at the end, and I tell him to go, you go and set yourself up and get ready. I push him. Well, I actually grabbed him and threw him.
I flew off my feet, landed on my back. And he flew
off his feet and landed on the hard, cold-ass gravel that was like almost like asphalt.
Yeah. And
I felt so bad. I jumped out. I drug the bear trap across the thing. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to throw you.
But
see, and that was
true to my character, lying on the ground in pain. I said, yeah, you go ahead, do what you're going to do.
You got me. See, and that was a good, too. When you guys run up on... he was a blacksmith, yeah?
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy.
Yeah,
and then
he's really good.
He pinned you up against like his horse trailer and uses the trap as a weapon.
Yeah. I lost
him.
I think Brian's faking it and he's just freezing there. Like
just freezing like that?
I wouldn't be surprised, but no, but as far as Kevin goes, I thought his performance, it's just amazing. Like he feels so authentic. You feel everything he feels. So when there's that whole kind of dialogue between Cody and him, there's this, and you took my land because I had to, or people like you took my land because I had to give it to you. And he's just like, I just come here, I do my job, and I leave. I have nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah.
And there's, that whole tension there that, evolves over time. And I think it's just a really wonderful, natural way that it happens.
We have Ken and myself and Kevin have done multiple projects together. And we're good friends, outside of doing the work. And So I think we have a really good rhythm, knowing that we don't have to worry about what the other actor is going to do. They're going to pick up and do an amazing job, and that's why we work with each other. We know what each other is capable of, and it's just a very symbiotic relationship. A lot of times we'll ad lib stuff,
It's easier to write too when you know who you're writing for.
Absolutely,
it just is.
Yeah, and so Kevin's great, and we love. I literally met Kevin. I think when did we do that short film?
We did the Project Greenlight film that we submitted. So that was early 2000s, so like 2002 or 3 when Project Greenlight was on HBO when Matt Damon and Ben Affleck started that. So it was around then, and we got pretty far with our short film. We didn't get to the top 10, but I think we were in the top 50 or 25.
That's awesome.
I can't remember.
When I had met Kevin on that set, it was the first time I had met Kevin, and Ken had known him prior to that. But it was, and I was working with him, and I'm like, geez, I really want to work with this guy again. He's really good. I'd love to work with him again. And then we have worked together ever since.
He is really good. He's way better than you and I put together, to be honest.
Well, he's prettier. He's definitely prettier.
He's definitely prettier.
Prettier.
He's got such a great background. He's done so many plays, been on stage so many times, and just to work with him, you're going to get that performance that is so solid, and just he's an amazing actor. I'm glad that he's been part of our group for so long, and hopefully we get to do some more stuff with him. But his character Nicodemus, I also have that on a loop too in my house of me punching him in the face. So I have the one where I punch Nicodemus in the face, and then I have the one where I throw him across the face. Yeah, I love it. I just keep doing it. And Frank beats Cody up. I had that one playing on a loop. It's good stuff.
But the other one, the other performance that I thought was really powerful, because I've seen where I work, we work with a lot of what's the best way to put this? People that have done a sexual assault, without giving away too much. But the Reverend, his character, the way he approaches things before you find out that it's him. When I did my second watch, I was like, man, this is sexual predator behavior. Like, he is controlling from the background, watching how he walks, watching how right when was it Kathy? What I forget her name.
Miss Anna,
yeah. When Miss Anna is right about to say something, he's got to jump in, and he's got to character assassinate her before she can say anything, because she's going to give away the game and ruin him.
It's local.
Yep, absolutely. He was also he was a choice of our director, Matt Servitto. He's friends with Matt, and he lives in Vienna. He's from the United States, that actor. He lives in Vienna now, and fortunately, we didn't have to fly him over there or pay for any of that. But he's been in many things. He was in Star Trek. He just did a thing on Netflix with Sherlock. Cumberbatch, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, wow.
He did a show with
Infinity Pool.
So I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff. He was in the Mia Goth movie,
and he was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yes, Infinity Pool.
Okay.
He was in that as well as one of the lead characters. He's really good. Jeff Ricketts is his name. Great character actor. Has been. I mean, he gets a ton of work from Austria. He works all the time. He'll come back to the United States and work all the time. So we were just very happy to have him. And when he started doing his scenes, we knew we were in good hands when he was doing his stuff. He was great.
Yeah, which, I mean, when you get to the point that he meets his end, like your character Bo, like leads him to his death, and it's just sort of like a fuck this guy kind of death. Like,
And I
I don't
think
feel
that's
sorry
where
for
Ken
you.
actually
You're gonna
has
get
his
what you're gonna
turning
get.
point. If you notice,
Like,
Ken is
Yeah.
straight-laced all the way through.
see you never.
He would never do
So I
this
wasn't.
unless he
No,
realized, okay, maybe I got to step outside of the law, and this is what needs to be done.
Yeah.
yeah. I wasn't 100% sure when we were shooting that scene where I walk outside and I take the keys and I throw them away. That I wasn't sure that the audience was going to get that, but the way after seeing the end product and seeing the movie, yeah, I mean, yeah, it hits. It comes across as, yep, he just screwed him, and that's the end of that. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, it doesn't really truly hit you right until he's walking away and he throws away the keys. And you're like, wait, he just left him to die. And like, it's satisfying. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good work, Dan Deluca, for writing that.
But you pull it off. I mean,
Right.
because you play that straight laced all the way through, and even then, you're doing it.
Yeah,
You're doing
Cody
it
would've just
Bo's
shot
way.
him
You're
in the
not
head.
doing it
He would
Cody's
have made
way.
him the holiest man there ever
It's not
was.
so wild cardish.
that time.
It's very
Yeah.
straight laced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was creepy from like the very first scene, But it also, like, all the jump scares, speaking of that, all the jump scares in the entire movie were like
Yeah.
on point as well.
Thank you.
Like, you can know, like, oh, something's going to happen right here. I
chicken really
guarantee it.
scared
And then
Ken.
it happens. But yours, no, you couldn't. So good with those ones.
Yeah,
But
it was.
yeah, that preacher dude.
That was something we put in at the last minute too. We, the producer in Austria was like, "Hey, I can get some chickens," and we were like, "Well, all right, get some chickens." So we had the chickens there that day, and we were like, "You know what would be good? Let's try this." And throw
They
a chicken
literally
at
did
Ken.
have a
He's
wrangler
like, "Look,"
throwing the
and
chicken up in the air at him.
we can use that as something that will make the audience.
Yeah, that was a tasty
Jump,
chicken, though. That was probably
Be
the
like,
best
"Oh."
meal we had.
The guy who owned the chicken chucked it at me. It's hilarious.
Probably, dude. Probably way better than this
That's
one that
right.
I had to kill
If it
in
was
Long
gray,
Beach.
that's a pigeon.
But
If it was gray, that's a pigeon.
That's a story right there. The Long
Yeah.
Beach chicken massacre.
yeah. Oh Jesus, no, it really was a chicken.
No wraps
My
with
neighbor.
wings. Ugh.
Yeah, the jump scares were all good. No, everything was just great. Like you're saying, everything went together. Didn't seem like anything was out of place. We really enjoyed it.
I will tell you, the one fire that I started, man, that was one of the hottest fires I had ever been next to. And the reason being is because what we burned. We burned a mannequin that was underneath of that, underneath of the sheet that we had. And that plastic burned so hot. Like, it burns hotter than wood. It burns for whatever reason. But
God.
my eyes felt like they were going to be scorched out of my head. I was like, I had to close my eyes. So it looks like I'm actually praying, like, over the fire. I'm not. I had to close my
I was in
eyes
pain.
so my eyes didn't burn out of my head. I was like, oh my God, this is,
You
And
know,
then
one
I
of the
can only
things that
stand it for a certain amount
I
of
think
time. I had to
doesn't
back the
get
heck
much
up. I was
credit
like, I'm not
when
standing
people watch a
here.
film,
This is dangerous.
only because it's
There's
understandable.
no
It's a
way.
small part, but
But
all those extras that we had in that church scene, I mean, none of them moved. As many times as we looked at that footage, in every part of it, you're waiting for somebody to blink, somebody to breathe, somebody, just to kind of, oh, we can't use that take. I was just, still to this day, I'm impressed. There's a woman, you can see her like in the background, her eyes are open through the whole thing. She doesn't blink, she doesn't move. And I think those little details, it helped sell it quite a bit. They did, and they were just local townspeople, right? People that wanted to be in a film. And the guy that owned the place where we shot, he just kind of gathered up his friends and family, and they did an amazing job. Yes.
They're very good at playing dead.
They were very convincing dead people. That was,
yes.
It was gross. It was disturbing. It was everything.
How long were you guys filming?
So
we were there for. I was there for 6 weeks or 5 weeks, 5 6 weeks. Yeah. Before.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So we took
the last
Saturday and Sunday off most times, most weeks.
Yeah, we were
maybe one.
It was during COVID. We were kind of there wasn't much going on anywhere outside of everything was locked down. I mean, they were in a hard lockdown in Austria. You could walk outside, and that's about it. If you're going to order food, they had to basically it was delivery only, or you had to pick it up. Couldn't eat in a restaurant or anything like that, or you could go to the grocery store. That was about it.
They were doing street stops. The cops were stopping you on the street, and if you didn't have your test results on your phone, you would get fined an equivalent of $800 US.
Good God!
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. Now we didn't get stopped. I don't know why we never got stopped, but
because they're selling there. It's like, dude, is that Ken Arnold?
Yeah,
hold on, is that?
I'm huge in Austria. Yeah, they're like, oh, it's Ken Arnold. Let him go. Come on. I'll tell you what, though, waiting in line for the COVID tests every day, because the government had like a trailer on the corner of every, not every street corner, but there were trailers, and you would wait in line, and that's how we would get our COVID tests done. And you couldn't come to set until you had your results on your phone that said you didn't have, COVID. So we would wait in line, and just. Austrians aren't very well. Maybe their sense of humor is different than ours, but they're not very funny people.
Ooh.
So I go up, and you had that thing you had to take and stick up your nose and swab it around, right? Remember those things? So I go and I take it, and I start swabbing it around, and then all of a sudden this big Arnold Schwarzenegger looking dude in an orange jumpsuit comes over, and he stands behind, he's watching me, and then he goes like this, deeper. And I go,
good God.
And I go like this. I go, that's what she said. And the guy in front of me didn't even smile or laugh or nothing. He just went, and just looked at me. It was like, give me back. I was like, oh my God. If we were in the United States, people would be cracking up right now. But
swing and a miss over there.
I was like, damn it. And then we learned how to say it in German. Das ist was sie sagt. And then we said it like that. Still, no laugh. I was like, God damn it,
dude!
These kids, I couldn't get these people to laugh. Not even a little bit.
Swing and misses. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta learn how to say motherfucker. That'll then a laugh. We were out at a concert a couple months ago, and these German guys were in front of us. And we were talking to them, and we're like, where are you guys from? They're like, we're from Germany. And I was like, oh, and I was like, Fick die San Lucia. They're like, yeah. And they thought it was the funniest shit they've ever heard. I was like, you guys don't say that in Germany? Like, come on. Or Austria? Sorry,
It's terrible.
No, I'll tell you what, though, the food in Austria sucked, too. No.
What did?
Food.
The food?
You had
the catering on set was so bad. One day we had this tuna pasta, and I mean literally 30 minutes after
I wasn't
going
to touch the tuna pasta.
Bathrooms were packed. Man, everybody was rushing to the job. Oh my God!
I had my cousin come up from Italy.
So bad.
He spent 3 days with us.
I ate like 2 bites of it, and I was
so
like,
he comes up from Italy, and day one, going through the chow line, and after the first meal, he's like, I can't eat this. I can't eat this anymore. He would go off set, and he would find an Italian place, get something to eat, call me up. Hey, you want me to bring you something? Like, yeah, they'll strangle me. You come back here with a pizza. But for 3 days, he wouldn't eat that food. Yeah.
That sucks. I know. Like, I'm always worried to go to what is it, London, and have their breakfast where it's baked beans and so that'd be like, I want that for breakfast. You know, we were in China, and China had really amazing food.
Yeah.
But, you know, everybody's like, this is our food in London.
Over there some years back.
And they have wooden teeth.
And I'm talking to him via the computer. And he's like, I can't take it anymore. It's been 10 days. I can't eat this stuff anymore. Do you remember that, Ken?
Can't eat this shit. Yeah.
Dude, but the bad thing in China, though, is if you liked a place, like you go back there the next day, it's like it's literally like it's as if it never existed. Like restaurants would be packed up, put in, moved, everything. We're just like, we were here yesterday, right? And there's like, yeah, we're just like, what happened to the restaurant? There's like, it's been gone for 11 years. We're like, what the hell? We've been eating fucking ghost food? Yeah, dude. If you like something, enjoy it because you're never going to be able to eat it again, except for, you know, soup dumplings, which are amazing. But every time you go to a restaurant, like there was like a, you know, 75% chances you're never even going to see that place ever again. You're like, that sucks. That's weird.
So there was one place in Austria that had a line, and we waited in it, and it was downtown in Vienna. We went one day. We had a free afternoon on
Best meal we had
Saturday
when we
or
were there.
Sunday. And it was Five Guys, burgers and fries. And we were like, what is, you know, we saw all these people waiting in line, and then we looked and we're like, oh, it's Five Guys, burgers and fries. Nice. So we can get that.
Was it the same though? Because you know, like McDonald's, has different stuff.
Like, it was good, and they do like they do here. They just load the bag with fries. You know, they put your burger in, and they load the bag, and we sat out in the square and we ate it. It was probably the best food I had the whole time I was there.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
yeah, dude, that's nuts. That's a COVID movie.
Yes,
it had no feeling at all.
Yeah,
that it was a COVID movie, man. That's nuts. Good job.
Yeah, we did. We had it was such a small cast. It was a small crew, but there was enough crew that were there.
Yeah, there was,
and we had our own little like bubble. Like that western town had its own hotel. There were rooms that the crew stayed in. They stayed on set, and they brought in trailers with showers that were pretty nice. I thought they were nice. And they showered in those trailers, and they stayed at the western town. Nobody was allowed to leave. We had an Airbnb outside of it, but we were the only ones. There was, you know, a handful of us, like 5 of us were staying there. 6 of us.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. That's awesome.
Nobody got COVID though.
Yeah.
Nobody got COVID.
It was an interesting time. So, yeah, nobody, not one person got COVID. We didn't have any shutdowns, no nothing. So we were fortunate.
Because you have to beat someone's ass with a bear trap. Like, what the hell? Like, we've all been on set together. How did you get sick? Like, you must have snuck out. I never seen a bear trap as a, you know, before I freaking again dropped out. I was like, when you guys pinned him up against the trailer and you're just like, move, I dare you. I was like, damn. I was like, that's a good weapon, I guess.
Right.
I mean, you're only going to use it once.
Where it's perfect because you know, that's who he is. He's a trapper. And
pretty solid, man.
What's more frightening than these big jaws in your face? You know. Well, he was working on his stuff in the blacksmith.
Damn it! For some reason, I thought he was a blacksmith. Yeah. Wasn't he hitting a hammer once?
Yeah, in the blacksmith shop, he was working on straps. And that's the funny part about it is in post when we got the footage, you know, he's got a hammer and he's hitting the anvil with the hammer, but it sounded so lame in the regular footage. It was like tink, 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 and we told the sound people, we were like, man, you got to do something about that because that's terrible. And they put it this big clang, clang. We were like, yes, that's exactly what we want. But he was hitting that hammer. It was like clink, clink. Now, Kevin, the actor who plays Nicodemus, he was a Marine. So he's a tough guy. But hasn't been a Marine for 30, 40 years. So, you know, he's not as tough as he once was.
That was his really into it.
He was hitting that thing going, tink, Dink.
He's like, no, really lay into it.
Yeah, we were like, come on, man. Swing that thing.
Damn. No.
I still wouldn't mess with Kevin, though. He'd kick my ass.
We're all there. We're all there.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's a skinwalker, man.
I think that was all
It's a skinwalker.
my notes. Again, sorry for what the hell is going on. Always building out here, man. It is, dude.
It is, man. This thing's been cursed, man, since day one. Nothing, not a thing has gone right with this film. I mean, it's been one issue after another. This is long. Yeah. So
we stuck it out.
Earthquakes were just a small portion of the things that went sideways on this movie. So, yeah, we made it and we finished it. We got the movie out, and we're glad it's out, and we're glad it's people seem to enjoy it. So,
yeah.
It could have been way worse, is what I'm trying to say.
Really good.
No, but all right, Amferny,
ready for the hard-hitting questions?
We should. I gotta find my notes. We haven't had hard-hitting questions in.
I know.
All right.
Well, Ken's already been through the hard-hitting questions, so
you're overselling the experience,
right? All right.
So, what was the first one? It's
Yeah.
Are you working on anything else now?
On something.
Yeah. Are you working on anything else?
We did a film
at the moment
that you can tell us without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, all right. So the Night
Hell
Watchman,
yeah,
loved it.
They've seen it.
We have
they did
Pen,
a
the Night
thing
Watchman 2.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it happens.
They know the movie,
it's
Dan.
8 years later, and it's an apocalyptic world, and that's where it starts, and it's still the same type of crazy, insane, moronic security officers. Yes, it is. So,
security officers.
Well, that's right. When you see what's in the locker.
Like, what's in that locker?
Oh, wait till you see what's in the locker.
Yes, there's some crazy stuff that goes on in it. So we
got to go harder this one.
We have partnered up with Rolling Pictures to try and get this one off the ground, and some guys we've worked with before, good guys, made some good projects, and hopefully we'll see that come to fruition by the end of this year.
Yep, and Dan also has written a book called Hag. It's based on the legend of Bloody Mary, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to get that. We already have the movie script for it, but we're also trying to get that funded and get that greenlit.
No,
so we can do that.
Yeah,
again,
it's
it
a
stars
detective
Dan, myself,
supernatural thriller is what it is.
Kevin,
and it kind of revisits the legend
if we can
of
get
Bloody
that
Mary.
going, that would be great.
In today, again, like anything I write, it has a lot of historical background to it, and has all that kind of police kind of procedure stuff as well. So, oh yeah,
I have the greatest Bloody Mary story. If you really want to hear it after we stop, otherwise my sister will kill me if I tell this story. But oh well, no. Great
the
story,
old go
man.
in the bathroom, turn the lights out, say it 3 times. Oh,
so
no
all right,
way.
fuck it. So when I was in college, we had this condo, and so if you were looking down at the floor plan, right, like you'd go into the front door, and then to the right there's an office, and then the next door up was like the master bedroom. But the master bedroom had a door that led to the laundry room, which had a door that led to a bathroom, which had a door that led to my little sister's room. And then the other side of the room had a door that led to like the kitchen, dining room, and everything. So it was like a big circle, right? That kind of makes sense. So I was checking the laundry one time, and I hear my little sister's. She must have been maybe junior high, and I hear them be like, "No, you do it by yourself. We dare you." And I was like, "What are these fuck little girls doing?" And so I hear my little sister go in there, turn the lights off. She's like, "Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary." I was like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." I fucking opened up that laundry room door and I covered her mouth and I fucking yanked her out the other side of it. And so then I shut the door behind me and I just hear my little sister's friends scream like, "Oh my God, she's fucking gone." And start screaming. And I was like, "Hell yeah." And my mom's in the living room like, "What the hell?" Yeah, dude. I fucking yanked her. My sister, when I tell you, like, when she saw me like open up the door, like her face just went all the blood out of her entire body, like probably fell out of her ass. And I grabbed her and yanked her, dude. And they've never played that game
They're
since.
all in insane asylums.
You're welcome.
Now.
I don't know who the hell you little girls were over at my little sister's house, but yeah, man,
that's great.
I hope so. I was like, why would you do something so, like I told Anthony this, like, I'm not 100% like believing in like, just ghosts like that, but like I'm not going to be like, yeah, let's play with the Ouija board. Because like, you know what? Just like, don't do it, Yeah. Just in case. Hey, we're not, my brother got grounded because he was like, "Oh, I don't know about these." And they did something at the reservation, and my mom found out about it because, like the water baby stories. And there's like, "Let's go test it out." My mom's like, "Well, guess what? Now you're grounded." And so I was like, "That sucks for you because you're in high school."
That's a good one.
So, yeah. But I got my sister and her friends so good with Bloody Mary. Hilarious.
That's good. That is good.
Yeah. But
I like it.
Then I guess the last one would be, is there anything that you would suggest we give a watch?
Well, Begonia. Have you seen Begonia yet?
No.
It's popped up. I haven't watched it, though.
Yeah, with Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons. And that was, I watched it last night. And for the SAG Awards, because, it's one of the a couple of the actors are nominated for SAG Awards. So I watched it last night. And yes, it's a little bit of a slow burn, but it's got some good stuff in it. It's got some good, and the ending is kind of cool. So it's you got to see it. I don't want to give spoilers away because it's.
I imagine you saw Sinners, right?
But yeah, Begonia, I'd say watch that. What else? Yeah, Sinners I saw, which was very good. Also saw Weapons, which was cool. But I'm trying to think of recent stuff I've seen. What I've been doing though, guys, is I've been Universal Monsters Channel, and I've been watching all the old 40s and 50s monster movies, all the ones that you don't remember seeing because they didn't play them a lot. They didn't play them like Creature from the Black Lagoon. They didn't play them like Frankenstein or Dracula. They played them, every once in a while, like Son of Dracula, starring Lon Chaney as Dracula, which I had never seen that one before. It was crazy. I was like, what the hell?
Well, there was two Lon Chaneys. There was Lon Chaney Jr. and Lon Chaney.
Yeah.
And now
Lon Chaney was the guy that was
Dracula.
kind of the master of disguise. Okay. And then Lon Chaney Jr. was his son that played the Wolfman.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that? I mean, I can't imagine that was.
Yes. So Lon Chaney Jr. was playing Dracula. Yeah. So it was like any other movie from that time period, a little overacted, a little theatrical. You know what I mean? Like it was a theater play that they shot and put on film. But
which, I mean, you mentioned those old school movies. I did watch, what was it, with my wife and son? We watched the original House of Wax, which, like, I've only ever seen the 2006 one, and I watched that one, and I was like, you spend 2/3 of that movie of them going, are they real? Are they not real? I don't know. They just grab one and test it. You're the police, like, but you have to catch him in the act, and it's like at a certain point I just went with it and I was like, this the ridiculousness of this is perfect.
Well, they have to get consent.
The one I watched the other night. Remember the movie, the S movie? It was about snakes. It was the doctor. He gives his assistant this venom that turns him into a cobra. It was made back in the 70s. Man, it was so cheesy, but I loved it. I was laughing my ass off.
Kind of like our movie, Ken.
But yeah, it was pretty hysterical. Again, the acting in it was terrible. The special effects were awful. Yeah, but but it was great. So if you get a chance, Universal Monsters on cable. Just
you mentioned Dracula. What movie was it? Dracula's Dog. Or Zoltan, Hound of Hell, depending on which version, because I think it was one of those drive-in movies where they like switch the title and then run it back through every city again with a new cut, the way they used to do. I forget the guy's name, but he's like an old character actor who's in a bunch of these old horror movies. He has this mind power over dogs that like he possesses the spirit of Dracula and like starts controlling dogs to attack people. And it's at one point, I believe the dogs jump onto an old rickety house and start tearing the roof panels off. It's really bad. It's
that Caesar guy on TLC. Right.
And they're not even like scary dogs. It's like a couple German shepherds and like barely more than a Pomeranian. Like
I like it. I don't know. I like it. So
yeah, it was really interesting to watch.
Every once in a while, I'll come across a gem on like Tubi or something, and I'm just like, wow, how did I miss this one? You know, the one with James Corden. What the hell was it? It was a vampire movie.
Oh yeah.
What the heck? The name of it? Where he goes with a van full of hot women, you know, and they go into this forest and they turn out to be vampires. And him and his buddy are trying to get away from him. But it was pretty good. It's called Vampires. Oh my God, Vampire Cheerleaders. I don't know, but it was on Tubi, and it was great. I laughed my butt off. But I don't know,
That's
you
right.
know, because it was made in the early 2000s.
Yes.
I don't know if you can make that.
Yes, you can.
Not anymore.
Nowadays. I don't know.
Hell yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Dude.
You can't like what movie was it? It was Werewolf in a Women's Prison. We watched that. The special effects are adequate. There is tons of nudity, and it's just a women in prisons movie with a werewolf. That's the formula.
But the twist was it was actually just a woman who wasn't able to shave her legs. She was in prison for so long. So when they would scissor, they would light on fire, and they thought that it was a combustion. And you're like, what? It's weird.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That's it. You ready?
Yeah.
The name of the James Corden movie was Lesbian Vampire Killers.
Oh, wait.
That was actually pretty decent.
I swear we've seen that name. And we're just like, what? I wonder what this is about.
I think you sent that to me.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Lesbian Vampire Killers. I laughed so hard, and I was like, why haven't I seen this before? What, you know? And it was on Tubi. So every once in a while, like I said, you get a gem like that, and you're just like, oh, man. You know? But, yeah, Lesbian Vampire Killers. See that if you can. Okay.
Right, I'm
And then do a show on it.
That is for consideration. Yeah. And the final question is, if people are trying to, how do I say this so it doesn't sound like stalking? Because I've said it before and it sounds weird.
Somebody's trying to find you.
Yeah,
Ken's
got that OnlyFans.
So I want to follow you, find you, anything like that. Your social, your handles.
Yeah, well, they could. Of course.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about that.
It's good. OnlyFans, you know. There's a lot of feet and turtles, baby turtles.
Only Ken.
Like that. But if you want to follow Town Called Purgatory, you can go on Instagram and follow Town Called Purgatory.
You have the link
can
tree
also
as well,
go to
Ken.
Facebook. We have a Facebook page. I have my actor page, Ken Arnold Actor. I know Dan has. Yes, we do have a link tree. So type in link tree, A Town Called Purgatory, and it'll pop up, and you can click on the link there. It has news of the movie. It also gives you all of the streaming services where you can watch it. It also is available on cable, like Xfinity and Fios as well. We didn't have the links in there, but if you have cable, you can just do a search for A Town Called Purgatory. You can watch it,
or just buy it.
And yeah, we're gonna have Blu-ray DVD copies of it too eventually. They're not out yet, but there will be, and we'll have a big push to when we get to that point to sell those. So
awesome.
Nice.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Thank you guys for talking to us.
Well, thank you for having us on.
Between rated B, rated the podcast sensation, unveiling truth, sparking conversation.